Good to be back playing for Renegades in a massive game.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Should be a big crowd as well. So, it'll be good to get the game underway, obviously tomorrow night. So, looking forward to it.
You've obviously been caught up with Australia, which is great, but a few players the strikers have lost for this semi. Where do you sit with the scheduling? Do you think it needs to be changed a little bit, or is it just inevitable that you're going to have players in and out because of international stuff?
Yeah, it's obviously a question that's come up a fair bit during the Big Bash. I guess it would be great, and I think the fans would love to have the Australian players playing and see David Warner and Mitchell Starc and Steve Smith in the Big Bash. But I guess the difficult thing is how do you fit that in? So I'm not sure anyone's got the answers at the moment. It must be difficult, with all the matches that are played during the summer. So yeah, I think everyone would like that to happen, but how it sort of fits and what has to give for that to happen, I'm not really too sure, to be honest.
What did you learn last time we played the strikers? What lessons did you take out of it?
I felt as though they were probably the best coming out of that best bowling unit that we'd come up against in the Big Bash. So, and as I sort of said a couple of times since, obviously, hopefully, losing a couple of players might just upset their, team balance and stuff, and something they'll have to get used to. And obviously, Colin batted very well against us last time as well. So, coming up with a couple of different plans is, and learning a couple of things from the game, taking a bit out of it, I guess, is the main thing.
You mentioned them losing a couple of players. I think you were asked about it yesterday, and you battled to know who one or two of them were. Have you done your research?
Calvin Smith was the player I thought I forgot that might come in, but I'm not sure if you guys released your squad yet. So yeah, that was probably the player I thought might come in, but along with Harry Nielsen, obviously, that just does a couple of changes to their squad. So no doubt we'll have a good look at it when it's released.
What's it like playing against blokes that I suppose you've never or rarely played against before?
Well, you get a good chance to see them. Obviously the local guys, you play against in domestic cricket the whole year round. So anyone that Adelaide bring in, we would have played against in back in state cricket. So you get a bit of an opportunity to see what they do and how good they are.
Anything changed because it was a final? Did you just try and block what's on the end of it out, or how do you approach that?
It's too difficult to think about anything else other than the task at hand and making sure you try and get the plans right and the matchups right, and then go from then. It's all about execution after that. So no, there's no point looking too far ahead. If you lose, it's a waste of time.
True. Oh, last time, as Cam mentioned, you were the man with the bat. Adelaide Oval, short of boundaries again, square. Do the same again tomorrow night, I would have thought.
Yeah, it's always nice when it goes well. On that evening, just got in a really good partnership with Travis, and really enjoyed the outing. I'm sure they'll have a few more plans this time, so they'll have to figure it out as we go along. But I've been in the ball nicely and been enjoying some time in the middle, so it would be great to do that again in a big game.
Have you got your answer prepared for the missing a couple of players? How do you replace them question?
Yeah, it's a tricky one because. Like Cam was saying, everyone wants to see the best players playing, especially at this stage of the tournament. But everyone knew, there would be that possibility of missing a few guys. And like I've said before, extremely excited for those guys because it means we've played well, and that's what's got us into this position. That guys have done nicely, and they've been rewarded. So it's still a hell of an honour for them to be playing for their national side. And then just a fresh opportunity for guys who've been part of a squad that's really operated well. A couple of those guys, are really excited to get out there and show people what they can do. So yeah, just really looking forward to their contributions and seeing how we go.
You've played in plenty of T20 leagues around the world. Have you ever had anything like this before, where you sort of lose players, at the start or the end of the season?
Not in too many of them. I know in South Africa it happens. Obviously summers for Australians and for South Africans, it's a big cricket time. So and your national team is operating. So it has happened before, but it's unfortunate when it does. But it's something that I suppose we are used to.
And Colin, for those guys coming in, what do you do or say to them to make sure they don't get overawed, I suppose, by the occasion of a massive match, 50,000, big semi-final?
Yeah, I think just to be excited about the opportunity. I'm not one who likes to play it down and just say, it's just another game. It's a big final. So, in saying that, we've had a really sort of stable and solid squad through the season, and all those guys have been contributing and been in and out of the nets, and I feel like they're well prepared going into this sort of game. Yeah, so my message is be excited and let's show people what you can do.
Any added responsibility on the older blokes, Cole, I suppose? I mean, if Kelvin or Harry comes in, if they wouldn't have seen any sort of cricket like this before this year, and a bit of extra responsibility on guys like you?
Yeah, I think that sort of responsibility is always there in a cricket team. Over many years, as you get older, it racks up. So in big games like this, it's always nice if your senior guys can stand up.
Can you exploit that, Cam? And how do you exploit that?
Well, hopefully we can. As you said, I think the big thing for new players coming in, especially inexperienced in this format, is just dealing with the pressure and what we have to throw at them. So yeah, I guess only time will, once they get out in the middle, see if we can exploit that. But and how do we do it? It's probably just getting the matchups right. Like that's pretty much what T20 is about these days, making sure you get the right people playing against each other at the right time. So yeah, I guess that's how we can exploit it if possible.
Because they might not be able to win the game for the strikers, but you think a foot wrong here or two could certainly lose it for them given their inexperience.
Yeah, true, but it's the same with anyone, not just whether it's their first game for the season or whether you've played it every game. I guess it's in big games like this, and we know in the short format that things can change very quickly. So, as we sort of touched on, they will have a couple of newer players, but obviously we've got the rest of the lineup's been pretty solid for the rest of the year, and clearly they finished second. Adelaide finished second on the table and have played well, and clearly the individuals have done well within the team. Your
blokes spent a bit of time watching some Rashid Khan vision.
Well, I think that's one good thing about playing in the round games. You get a bit of a look, and you get all the data and all that analytical stuff about where you might be able to score best and how you go about it. So, and getting a look at him, obviously at Etihad the other night. So I think most of us, only a couple of us, probably faced him before. So I know it was my first time. So hopefully we'll play him a bit better this time around. But no doubt he's their key.
Slower leggy, you can sort of go at him over his head. Khan is really fast. Where are the places that you can look to hit him?
Well, it's about 100 metres straight here, so I don't know, Theo, whether you can hit it that far, but I certainly can't. So I think most of the data suggests, sweep shot. I know Alex Doolan down in Hobart that night had a bit of success, but that's really up to the individual. Like everyone's scoring areas are different, but we just have to weigh out the conditions, whether it's spinning, whether it's sliding on. So everyone will have a bit of a different plan.
Any directive not to hit the ball in the air near Ben Lachlan and Jake Weatherall?
Well, yeah, obviously good fielders. We've caught pretty well ourselves in the last couple of games, which has been really encouraging watching on TV as well. So, no doubt, like most of the games, fielding will be important. But that was, that catch the other night at Etihad was one of the best ones you'll see. And very smart bit of work and good thinking from Ben on his feet.
Well, Richard would be keen to get one back, wouldn't he?
Yeah, no doubt. He'd probably, obviously, as Colin said, it's an honour any time you play for your country, and no doubt he'll enjoy that. But at the same time, no doubt he would have liked to have been playing here versus his old team. But no doubt he'll be looking on keenly.